Hello. How we are doing? Can I see your name and your location? Good evening, everyone. Can I see your name and location? We're about to start very soon. I want you to share the link, the YouTube link, the Instagram live link with your friends and family. It's gonna be a very, very explosive night. And from my experience, remarkable nights are not the ones that are usually, you know, great in terms of numbers. So, numbers, audience does not determine the authenticity of a message. So, I just want 5 people, 6 people, 10 people on the live stream tonight that are ready to get to the next level in career and in destiny. Gonna start shortly. Share the links with your friends, with your family. It's gonna be a very, very interesting night. Okay. Okay, just when you join, just your name and your location. Your name and your location. So your name and your location. Okay, that's great. I can see Kunle from Nigeria. I want you to share the links with your friends, with your colleagues, with your family. We're gonna kick off in 1 minute. So yes, like I said earlier, on nights like this, transformative nights are not usually the ones that are great in numbers. Um, you know, you don't need the validity or the authenticity of your audience for any message to be true. Every any message that is true is not dependent on the acceptance. The truth needs no audience to be true. So we're just gonna get on board tonight. Yes. Thank you very much for joining. And the topic we have today is daring big things. And, why do we organize Instagram Live after we've had an explosive session last Thursday? This is because, it gives us the opportunity to share the things that we're not able to share in a more formal setting. So this is more of semi-formal setting where we just want to connect with our community, want to connect with young people that are hungry for growth, that want to get to the next level of life and of destiny. And for I had a call with my team members earlier on today. We had an extensive call just taking feedbacks and review for the week and lessons learned from the past webinar. And so we got into the sort of like funny conversation as regarding the way young people, or should I say Gen Zs, want to learn. So they were of that opinion that young people don't like to read. Young people like when the message is passed, you know in a very funny tone, or do fun videos, a day in my life, and etc. And for me, I was of that opinion that, well, that why that is true, we've got thousands of content creators, for example, in third world countries. Almost everyone in the social media space, for example, in Nigeria, is into one content or the other. But look at that. So weigh that activity or that number versus the transformation quotient in Nigeria is so limited. So it's just to say that we are beginning to fulfill that hard age that says that if you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in the books. And generally, with this kind of messages, it will not be received by everyone, because I think the essence of motivational speaking, the essence of the inspirational speaking, personal development is sort of like a damage control. Is damage control, because on a normal day, life's supposed to be, yes, even though it's a human race, you want to start the race with an advantage generally. Okay, so for example, you have good, running boots. You would have done enough training. You'd have had access to a coach. But look at most of the people we have in third world countries today. Many of them are not just in default, but some of them have got no boots in terms of leverage. Some of them have got no opportunities in terms of what can speeding up that race. The track is even bad. When I mean track, I mean the economy you find yourself, the economy you want to succeed in, the economy you want to achieve destiny in, the country, the continent is not moving forward. And I said it many years ago that the outcome of your life is not majorly just dependent on what you do. Yeah, it's not just dependent on just your own input alone. The outcome of your life will be majorly, of course, your input, but let's say 70%. 30% will be other factors. For example, your background, the family you come from, or the degree of opportunities that you have access to. For example, your destiny reality can majorly be determined by the country you come from. And that's why you find someone that comes from, let's say, Libya. Compare that person with someone that was born in China and the Chinese. The destiny realities are different. And once we begin to understand this, we'll begin to see that, especially as Africans, and I'm going to niche down now to Africans and Nigerians, there's so much backlog. We are running our race in the negative. I don't know how to put it, but there's no leverage. Maybe if you're from a royal family, if your parents, for example, are in politics, your parents are thriving well in business, then cool. But even at that, what's the guarantee? Yeah. So definitely that's why I've been emphasizing it. Like, usually, like, if you check the Bible, there will always be one prophet that forewarns people of the dangers ahead. And not just me, but many people that are in the thought leadership space are speaking about the dangers that is looming ahead in terms of the gross poverty rate in Nigeria, for example. Let's even look at Nigeria, for example. What are the chances as a youth you're gonna strive high and achieve your destiny that you have when on the ladder of success, if you remember, from existence to survival to thriving to impact, purpose, and legacy. At what point will you now start fulfilling purpose? If, for example, you paid peanuts as a salary and you have to, you want to move from being a tenant, or let's say in your parent house, at what point will you be so comfortable enough, yeah, to be able to even afford a comfortable apartment? And now you afford a comfortable apartment, then just when you think that's the end, then comfort zone steps in, mediocrity steps in, you think you've arrived. Well, that's not your house. Now you want to get your own apartment. Let's say you're in Abuja, you're in Lagos. Let's say you don't even stay in the cities, like you stay in the suburbs. So let's say you're in Lagos, you don't stay in Ikeja or VI. Let's say you're in Abuja, you don't stay in we'll say and all of that. You go outskirts of Abuja and all of that. But what are the chances that you even get a plot of land, for example? Yeah, at that amount, I can presume, let's say, even 3 million naira. Now think about, so just I'm walking you guys through the realities, the way I see it from this sort of eye level. How many years will you need to work to be able to save so much to be able to get a plot of land? Remember that you're still going to be surviving, and most times the money is not even enough of survival, talk less of even saving and investments. Yeah. Then you've gotten, let's say you even struggle to get a plot of land, you do all this contribution, thrift, and all of that. Then you start building. But things, but materials, Dangote cement is the same everywhere. I don't know how much it is now, but how many bags of cement will you need to, build a house? Then you want to make a comfortable 3 bedroom. That's just house. Maybe you want to buy a car. Then at one point you think, oh, you're already having white hair, for example, and it's like, oh, I need to get married as a man, as a woman. You want to get married, then before you know it, one child, two children, three children is a pattern. Is a pattern, guys. And the earlier we wake up, the better. And I did a video some time ago that I think one of the issues that is affecting a lot of black people generally is the what do they call Earth mentality. Cattle, isn't it? Once one goes in one direction, all of them follow. No sense of initiative, sense of conviction, and self identity. That's what's happening to many young people, especially from Africa. And I didn't grow up in the UK, so I don't know how they behave. But they've also got their peculiarities and issues also. But they are not the focus of tonight's program. I'm focused on my community, which are people that are majorly from third world countries, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. So I'm connecting with you from that standpoint. And you see, my voice is so cool today. I can see one of my team members. Yeah, is that Blessing? Is Blessing still there? Moisa, good evening. How you doing? Can you just type on the chat that I can hear me? I want to see your name and where you've joined us from. Yeah, can you hear me? I don't want to just pick up when you guys are not hearing me. So I want you guys to type that you can hear me and just say something. Okay. Guys, honestly, I was speaking to some of my team members today, and they were like, "Mr. Yo is so serious, and can you sort of lighten up the message? Much more cooler, much more receptive, and all of that." And it seems like you guys will never understand the passion that bonds me, because you know it seems like I've been able to, at least to be honest, I've not achieved anything near my life goals and ambition. But if there's one thing I've been able to do over the past, let's say, 7 years, my journey to transformation and personal development, is that I've ticked that box on survival. The ladder of success. I've ticked that box on survival. Now I'm not thinking about what food I'll eat, the basic things of life and other, to a certain in extent, some other needs and luxuries. I can afford it. But it took me so much blood and sweat, and I can see that despite all what I did in terms of, I told you guys I was reading for 8 hours. It was a time in my life I was reading for 8 hours, doing many things, being serious. If all those investments, this is where it could lead me to, if you get what I mean. How much more if you're not making any investment? Where will you be? Because the essence of, so why I say these things is not because I'm coming from that standpoint of, it's not an omega complex. It's not me saying I've reached the top. It's me saying I'm going to the top. I'm getting to the top. I'm so certain of it, because this is how I always think about it. The journey from where I was, if you knew me back then to now, is for me is much more harder than from now to where I'm going to. If we have so much resources, the internet, the social media, AI has come. So I have learned that you need to be able to apply it. Applied wisdom, yeah. Application is so paramount. But let me tell you, you will not be able to apply wisdom if you don't have knowledge. See that? So I've started flowing now. Okay. I went for a presentation. I had a speaking engagement. I think sometime in September. We welcomed some of the new students on campus for the campus fellowship, and I was teaching them about seasons in life. That you generally have three seasons in life. The preparation, which is raw knowledge. So the major emphasis there is knowledge, and to the degree to which you are knowledgeable, that's the degree to which you can even dare big things. Because remember that I was speaking about daring big things. You cannot do something outwardly if there is not a corresponding measure of investment inwardly. No wonder if someone asks you for money, you can't just put your hand in your pocket if you know there's no money there. Think about it. That will make you a mad person, isn't it? If I ask you for money and you just put it in your pocket, and there's no money there, I'll be like, "Are you okay? Are you deceiving me?" That's deceit. That's denial. So most times, most people know their capacity, but actually, most people live in denial. So they are trying to do things. And I said it in the last webinar. The normal approach that they've said is do, yeah, be then have. No, but the real approach should be first, then do, then you cannot have. No wonder we have many people that are doing things, it's not working, they're crash landing. There's gross poverty, not just even in Nigeria or third world countries, even in the UK here. I mean, even Caucasians, white people struggle to even survive. Like literally, they struggle to survive. So there's gross poverty that is looming across, because let me speak from the standpoint of the UK and first world countries. They've reached the peak of industrialization. Think about it. AI is like the last mega innovation that will happen in our dispensation. And now most of the countries that got into world power, United States, UK, France, Belgium, one of the ways they did that was through subjugation in terms of slavery and racism. Now, because of enlightenment and knowledge, especially with social media and internet, there's that. Because one of the things I do when I think about it this way: What kind of information did they sell to our parents and our sort of grandparents that made them become slaves? And they caused more harm than good. That's why I was giving that analogy that many of us were starting the race of life as human race, like I said, human race, the race of life, but we're starting with no leverage, no opportunity for winning. And sometimes we always say, let's say, let me give you a context. What's his name? Usain Bolt is the fastest runner. That's because he's got good boots. See that? So the people that you call the greatest, for example, let's even use football, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. If they played in a much more lesser team with lesser quality, they will not be really exemplary like that. So greatness in itself needs other accomplices to be able to manifest greatness. And that's why there's the emphasis on your environment, who you surround yourself with really, really matters a lot. Because like I said some minutes ago, that the outcome of your life is not only dependent on your own inputs. Your input takes the majority, let's say 70 to 80%, to a degree to which you can control your externalities. But that there are some other externalities that also affect your outcome in life, like the government, economy, the country you find yourself, the family background you've come from can affect your destiny actualization. So let's even gaze back to navigating the change. So we know that we've emphasized that change is constant, but how you navigate it is what is dependent on you. That's relative. And is your navigation that determines the level of change you experience. And we're in a fast changing world. Let me tell you, it's gonna be ridiculous next year in Nigeria. Like gross hunger, poverty, crime, social vice, and all of that. There will be revolt and rebellion against the government structures. You could see now there's now attention into Nigeria in terms of the government policies. I think US they're planning a crackdown, and all of those things. And every country will always have a threshold and breaking points. And one of the things I've been praying for is that there should not be war in Nigeria. Yeah, but let me tell you, even if there's not any sort of physical war, there will be economic wars. And like I said, the passion is so there because every now and then I see people, my colleagues, mentees, young people, even generally on social media, I see the gross level of importunity or unfortunateness. Let me use that word that befalls, and I've been a victim. I'm still a victim of that. Let me tell you, I don't want to go into personal details, but sometimes you just even regret that you're even in Nigeria when some situations happen to you. No wonder there's that local palace and may Nigeria not happen to you. But if it's good to make those prayers, but what do you have to do? And one of the things is that you have to dare big things because nobody's gonna give you your future, your destiny on a platter of gold. I was speaking to my wife, I think yesterday. Nobody's gonna hand over your destiny to you on a platter of gold. Because the essence is to keep you in slavery, to keep you distracted from your main purpose, so that you can invest your life energy into other people's purposes. That's it. That's what they do. And that's why there is that over investment into entertainment, art and entertainment in Nigeria. Yes, it's a thriving industry, but is it doesn't wane when you compare it with other sort of industries. The, the quotient, the value quotient is so less. It doesn't come near. Why? What do I mean by that? In Nigeria, TikTok, music and music generally and content is what thrives in Nigeria as an economic sort of entity. China is production. Look at the difference. Look at Saudi Arabia, same oil. So we see that it's not just even about utter entertainment, but also the don't have structures to be able to even regulate it. That's why every Tom, Dick, and Harry does anything they like. thank you to those that have joined. Can you just type your name and where you joined from? Thank you very much for joining. Can you type your name and where you've joined us from? I want you to also invite your friends, share the links with your friends and families. Um, it's gonna be explosive today. We're already starting, and I'm giving you a background and a context. So, doing big things, and when you meet an average Nigerian, they've got a mindset of being a winner and overcomer. So the issue is not even mindset, but the issue is that we have many Nigerians that are dreamers, or we have many young people that are dreamers because there's some people that have joined us from the UK. Yeah, thank you, Musa, for joining. I want to see your names where you've joined from. I want to see it on the chat. Just type it on the chat. Thank you, Kunle from Nigeria. History is never written to the careful. Look at that. I wrote some few things down just to sort of be like a guide. It is written by those who dared to believe that what they carried was stronger than the climate they lived in. That's me. That's my life. If you knew where I came from, Orikuta Ikodu, Nigeria, yes, that was. It's not the worst of place. It's not the you know worst of places. It's not. Yeah, the other places that are quite extreme than that. But that was really a place that was bankrupt of civilization. The roads were no good. The people around there, the environment, everybody. You pass off as being a local champion and all of that. If I could come to the UK and you know you guys are not in the UK, or most of you are not in the UK, but the few people that are in the UK know the level of significance in terms of my value that I bring to any place I'm in the UK, whether it's in church, whether it's at work, whether it's among the community of friends, the value. And sometimes most people think that I came from a privileged background, but actually, it's a love, is years of reinventing myself, investment, and transformation. I came from a literal poor background, like seriously poor background. Struggled. I told you they expelled me from in Futa because if I couldn't pay 49,000, I think 800 in 2012. Few just the next year, I was paying $5,000 for my first school fees at KNUST in Ghana. So if we're speaking about daring big things, I've dared big things. Let me tell you guys, there's results, and those are the little things I want to show you. But sometimes I've learned over the years as a coach, as a thought leader, that it's better people learn more by inspiration than by instruction. So sometimes I can tell you what to do, and I don't know if you've heard it from thought leaders. They'll tell you, or you can ask them, oh, what are the 5 things I need to do to achieve greatness? And I'm sure they will tell you something like, it's not about doing five, it's not about doing, it's about becoming. Because when you become, then it becomes, you don't need to even do much. You don't even need to do much. Every generation has those who dream and those who dare. We have many Nigerians, many young people from third world countries that are dreamers. They have bogus dreams. They have ambitions. That sense of drive and determination is in an average African, is an average South Asian person from India. They are so industrious, hardworking, agile, and you know. But what's not the issue? The issue is that many people stay too long in the realm of dreams, and I, I'm not really impressed about your dreams if I can't see you waking up to fulfill them. You must move from just dreaming in your sleep to waking up to achieve them. And that's why I'm wondering, for example, we had a live stream tonight, and definitely, I know for me, I don't expect everyone to join. It's not for everyone. Like I said, the truth needs no audience to be true. Whether you join the webinar or you join the live session or not, the consequences of your actions or inactions or decisions or indecisions will still manifest either ways. But what will happen is that by the time you, most times, the consequences are like seeds. Yeah, they don't manifest in time. The investment you're making today, enjoying a live stream, most times you don't even see them as direct value. Some come as indirect value, like inspiration. For example, you hearing me say all these things, my story and all of that, and you get inspired to go take an action. That's a better way of transformation than me telling you to do this and that. That's being spoon fed, and that's what most young people want. They want to be spoon fed, or they want to determine how the teacher teaches. No, no, no serious students determines what the teacher teaches. No, you're there to receive, and you always trust the wisdom of the teacher to navigate and guide it because you've never even been there before. But actually, oh, you want a content this way, you want a value this way. Oh, we don't like to read books and excuses. No wonder our value quotients as black people, as young people, is so limited, especially in this part of the world. That's in in Nigeria and third world countries. How many young people are even inventing things? How many young people are even becoming creative, thinking out of the box, innovative ideas? And that's what I've been emphasizing, yeah, about you, not just because the educational system is has been built up to just make you mediocre and average people. For example, you glory, I can presume some of you, your chief joy, when I mean chief joy, what gives you the most hope and excitement for a great future is, or what you're banking on is your certificate, first class degree, 4.9%, or because they've told you that if you don't do NYC, you're not gonna get a job, and you're thinking job, job, job. Like I've painted earlier on, what are the chances you get paid 300,000 or 500,000? When will you build your first house? When will you begin to even survive? Like, because like I said, you must be able to survive, then you get to thriving. And most of those ladders take years. Someone like Bill Gates, he was on thriving zone for many years before they started investing massively in the Bill Gates Foundation impact. And now you don't even know if it's even achieving purpose because some of the things they do now with the GMO food and all of that is anti God's purpose. So for me, it doesn't even pass as purpose. Yes, the Melinda Gates and Bill Gates Foundation that eradicated polio and malaria, that's pro humanity. When you talk about GMO that kills people, that sponsors cancer and all of those things, that's anti purpose. So you see those variations there. So people stay long on those ladders. Look at Dangote, he's been a billionaire for several years. Yeah, but at what point did they begin to even flag off their foundation, Dangote Foundation, and all of that? Now he's even gone into full scale, he's going to the petroleum industry and trying to revolutionize the energy sector in Nigeria. That's large scale, thriving. It's going to make more money, but also impact for the nation, and the purpose. Do you get what I mean? So every generation has those who dream and those who dare, and you have to move from becoming a dreamer to becoming a darer. Dreamers imagine, but those that dare translate their imagination. They convert that imagination because it's so easy for you to bask and enjoy that feeling of imagination. And I've met many people like that. They always have something they're working on, and it's like they have sweet mouth. That's what they call it in local parlance, sweet mouth. They will tell you, they'll bubble you one thing, but if you check the ratio of their speakings to actions is low, the margin is low. That's what they say talk and do, isn't it? You should be that person that talks and do, not just speaks and there's not any commensurate action and drive. And that's where darers come. Dreamers talk, there's no any consequences for inaction or action. Nobody owes them to any sense of accountability. But you see, darers, They just hold the boat by the horn. And if you can get this mindset, if you can switch your mindset from being just a dreamer to, I want to do this next year, next month, to just doing it, just dare it, go on out. And that's what I'm doing here. For example, what was the guarantee that we're gonna fill out our, the all for 50 people in December? No guarantee, but we're just daring it because darers are the ones that take the biggest share of life meets, not dreamers. If you eat in a dream, yes, you can be fed in a dream, but in physical reality, you'll be hungry. Are you getting my point? And I want you to comment on this. I want you to comment that. Let me know that I'm not speaking to the wind. So daring is not just the absence. It's not just saying. It's not just ignoring fear. Everybody has got fears, doubts, and uncertainties. Even the greatest of all, your politicians, they fear. They have that they win an election, but either way they still contest. The football players, they have that they win the match. They still go to the football final, even though there's a chance that they might lose, but they don't chicken out. So why are you chickening out of the race of life? Why are you taking a soft pedal, a soft foot towards achieving your goals? It is the decision that purpose deserves more of you than you can afford. And that's why I say that you must be more committed to your convictions, your sense of purpose, vision, than to your conditions, your current realities, your survival, what is obvious in the now. You can, if you're meant to be a global speaker, even if you don't have and you're sent to the nations, you're going to speak at the United Nations or US, or you're going to become a president, you can't think like a pauper, like a peasant. You must begin to build that internal stamina in your mindset that you want to begin to, first of all, think like a king. And I've said it here that excellence, first of all, is not just in the action. Excellence, first of all, is in the mindset. I know that the Bible says that Daniel had an excellent spirit. It was first from the spirit first, translated to an action, then it became a reality. You get my point now? Can you type that you're hearing me? And I just want to know that I'm engaging with my audience. Okay. When God puts a vision in your heart, when God gives you a vision, He's not showing you your current capacity. No, He's speaking to your future. God speaks, He doesn't speak to your now. He speaks to your future. God is not interested in your best. He is interested in your next. Yeah? That's why he will tell a small Moses to go and face Pharaoh. He will tell David to go and face Goliath. And I'm going to be showing you that, some of the because David is an analogy that we're going to use this evening. David, he did big things. How can a small boy, 17-year-old, have that mindset and the boldness to go confront a giant, Goliath? He understood that the weight of what was on him was heavier than the fear. That's what Apostle Paul will say. I can't not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind, that are before me, I press towards the mark. Despite the challenges, the failure, the setback, the disappointment, you're still pressing to your goal. I didn't allow failure to destroy my destiny. Do you know that there were many people that did not go back to school after the failure incidents? And that was in 2012. They never went back to school again. They never recovered from it again. And in fact, just before I forget, so one of the major things that you need to imbibe if you want to become someone that moves from being a dreamer to a darer is your bounce back time. I don't even have it here, but it just came to my spirit now. Bounce back time, because there's nobody that will not experience any form of failure in life. There's nobody that has never failed in life. To think you will come to this earth and live long enough that you will not experience failure in any context, whether as an exam, as an event, as an occurrence. It's not possible. You at what point experience disappointment and failure? But the difference between dreamers is that dreamers backs in that euphoria of the loss. So those are the people that get into depression, into all of those things. But darers, they weep, they cry, and they wipe their tears again and they move on. That's the order of life. That's the order of life. So you see a footballer, a football team, they lose a friend, and does that mean they will close down the football club? No, they go again. And you see some things that they will tell you they've been to three finals consecutively, they didn't win, but they'll still go again. That's what makes them champions. That's what makes them champions. But do you know what? So let's note that your bounce back time from failure, but also your drive, the ability to continuously pursue that goal. Why? The joy of success is much more, deeper than the pain of regret. If you experience five failures and you experience one win, that win has the capacity to override five failures. That's how much potent success and winning is. Because just when you think about the failure, there's a corresponding dimension of success. Are we here? Are we still on the live stream tonight? Can we comment? Can we just comment that we're following me and quote my sentence? I need to see it. Thank you. I'm waiting. Okay. Oh yeah. Great. Yeah, so bounce back time is very, very important. It's very important in life. The second thing that I want you to take on that is not even in one of the things I prepared is your degree of implementation. Remember, I said is that there are people that are dreamers, but they are darers, isn't it? Dreamers just backs in that euphoria, that feeling. It releases endomorphin, happy feelings of doing so. For example, you can have the feeling of doing something and you can reap the reward of doing it mentally. So you can imagine you doing something and you can reap that reward by releasing happy hormones inside you. But does that mean you've achieved it? No. Now, let the margin of your desire to implementation be less. What am I saying? That if you say you want to do something, try as much as possible to do it. You say you want to do something and do it is better than not even saying it. That means if you say something and don't do it, it's so ridiculous because you lose your subconscious. Because your subconscious also gauges what you do outside. That's what you don't know. It's the one that connects with your brain to say, oh, it can achieve this. This is psychology here. So your brain, your subconscious mind feed back to your brain that, oh, this person is prone to failure. We can't really help it. But if you've registered so much success in it, is able to now go to your brain to say, Oga, let's contribute, let's partner together to make sure this guy achieves his goal. And that's why they always say that repeated failure is not good. Most people never fail because they lacked opportunity. They fail because they lacked permission. The permission they were supposed to give themselves. As many people, like I said, they don't give themselves the chance to achieve success in life. They don't give themselves the chance to achieve success in life. Guys, let me tell you, so I don't know if anyone has told you before. If you can hear me this evening, see, life does not favor anyone that is a mediocre, that is a failure. I'm telling you the truth. I've cried, I've shed tears in life. I've seen the the summary of life. If you don't win in life, if you don't win in certain areas in life, this life will be hard though. I'm saying it now to all of you, and I presume now I can see you on the live streaming. Most of you are young people. Make a decision that you you will be successful by all means, but not by any means. Remember, I've done a video on that. That means by all means in terms of the drive, in terms of the determination, but not by any means in terms of the desperation, in terms of doing things that are anti your convictions. So you're so determined, you're so focused, by all means, making sure that you destroy every barrier on your way. No limitation, no excuse can stop you, but not by any means. True success. Because even if you achieve falsehood, if you achieve success through falsehood, it will even be worse than even those that did not achieve success. Most of it, you see their ending. You see some of. I think I don't want to go into some details. There's some people that achieve stardom and fame through frivolent. Frivolent means they go and get into drugs addiction and all of that. Some of them died painful death and all of that. Not by that, but that you work your way up through strategy, diligence, smartness, wisdom, taking use of opportunity. By the time you get to 30 years old, 40, 50, you're going to be happy with yourself. And I've been saying it. Many people, now I mentioned that some people will be victims of envy. But we're getting to a world where people will hate themselves. They will live in deep anguish and regret that I wish I died known I should have taken this decision. Reduce your error of regrets. The margin of regret, I mean, reduce the margin of regret. That's why it's better for you to say you'll do something and just do it, because you never can know if that decision will be the most important decision you should have taken in life. We have many of them, and I don't know. Let me just even share this personal story. Of course, now there's so much crackdown. Can you hear me, guys? I just want to show this. I want to be sure that we're all following. Just type again, you know, and also can you take a screenshot? Can you also take a screenshot and tag me and send it to me also on on my Instagram, on our WhatsApp of a live channel? Just take screenshots of your screen. We need them, to show, for our content and all of that. Thank you very much. Also subscribe and follow me on Instagram, on our YouTube channel also, and TikTok. Yeah, many people are going to be victims of regrets because they're not going to like themselves. So I was talking about the personal story. More than 30 years ago, before my wife was born, um, Belgium, they're from Belgium. My wife is originally from Congo, yeah, but mother Belgium colonized Congo, so our mother I think traveled to Belgium, and I think they were able to get. She became a citizen there. So of course came back to Congo, had a family and living life. When my wife was born, that was, you know, within 20 to 30 years ago, or something years ago. Belgium was not a top country in the EU, European Union. They were just a small country. There was nothing more going on there. But when my wife was born, her mother, brought her to Belgium to get Belgian citizenship. I think she was 2 weeks old then when they had to travel to Belgium from Congo to get the citizenship. And there were many people around them. In fact, she was even telling me that there's some family members that had the opportunity to do that. They were like, "Oh, what's this Belgium? What's Belgium like? They're not even on the radar. Like, is there any need of that? Like, they were. That was about 30 years ago. She had a British, a Belgian passport. Fast forward to something years later, just by that singular decision, has changed the scope of our destiny. Do you know how many people are in diaspora that their destiny actualization is dependent on, papers and documents? Some of them are not legal, some are fugitive, some are asylum seekers, and they will not be able to even prosecute destiny just because of that singular decision of having the right papers. Yeah? And now she got it that on a platter of gold. That singular decision. What am I saying? You don't know the loop, the how do I put it? The loop. You don't know the shelf life of every decision you take in life. For me now, I'm after thinking, for this decision that I want to take, can I predict the shelf life? When I mean shelf life, how long this, what's the what's the consequences of this decision, whether I take it or not. So what's the consequence of this action or inaction? If you're within your 20s here and you're not working on your mentality, your mindset, your knowledge base, you'll be poor, honestly, before God and man. And God will still love you. In fact, you will make heaven. But you see, on this earth, you will not. The chances of it, be- because you forced to lie, you will lie. Yes, you will lie when it's not necessary. Some people that lie that steal is not because they originally wanted to. Yes, they're the part of self-discipline and value system. But if you have enough money, why will you steal? There are some people that are greedy and covetous, yes. But for people that have got values now, when you don't have, when you can't survive, you will do things because survival is not, like I said, change is not optional. You change, change is constant. Like change is constant. COVID 19 happened. Whether you had COVID 19 or not, were you a victim of COVID 19 in terms of the economy? Yes. Whether you had it personally or not. That's what I'm saying. You can make decisions as a group. Hear me, young people. Don't follow social media trends. It's a marketplace. You don't pick your inspiration from marketplace. Because when it is night, everybody will go home and go and face the consequences. They'll go and face their demon or their angel in the house. And many of you, I perceive that you've come from underprivileged backgrounds, struggling backgrounds and all of that. I just wish you can even become more. I know you are trying, yes. But remember that, like I said, most of you don't have leverage. That means you need to do more to be able to come at par with the race of destiny. So if because it's a race, if five people are running and one person is behind, maybe his boot fell off. If he plans to catch up with his mates, he will need to put in more energy and run more. That's what I'm saying. I'm not fighting with you this evening because this is just a step down from the power session we had on Thursday. That one I came with that passion, that sense of zeal and all of that. But I'm just speaking to you, peradventure as your coach. That can you just bring yourself to much more accountability? If I wish me to also had this kind of opportunity that someone will be literally spoon feeding me, like I'm the firstborn of my family. I literally didn't have anyone that was chasing me for these kind of things. That was organizing all this kind of free, I didn't. If I had, I'll be much more better than this. I'll not make certain useless and costly mistakes and errors. One of the reasons why I left FOTA was because I had no mentor. I was just a young child. That's one of the reasons why I left FOTA. I had to be expelled. If I had met someone that was more mature than me and all that, would have told me that, oh, you need to have doing your registration, finalize it, be serious. But I was just living it based on my wisdom. What I'm saying that your wisdom cannot, only your wisdom, what you have now, cannot take you to the top. And that's why you need to connect. How many of you now have gone to the YouTube page to even go and watch? I know some people will say, oh, there's one network, there's I could know I have people message me. It's not about you're not joining for me. Me, I will live my life. Like I said, I have a house. I have house. Basic amenities are not my burden again. I'm spending thousands of pounds to be able to push my vision and my purpose. That's the realm I'm getting to now. But is that I've seen it many. There are so many young people. I don't want you to be a burden. I don't want a situation whereby you call your mate in the next 15, 20 years and they ignore your call and they mute you because they know you want to ask for help. The issue is not about to ask for help, but there's asking for help from that standpoint of you need help as a value-oriented person. I also ask for help when I need help in any context, financial, human resource, and all of that. In fact, nobody can do without any help or the other. But help is different from burden. And generally, if you don't have money, they will not view you as asking for help. They will view you as a person that is a burden. No wonder the rich people they rather go and give rich people money. They can rather the money they will have people that they can give, let's say 100,000 to and change their life for. They rather go and give someone 5 million because that's why I said that rich people they like value, they like value. So don't go to any rich man or any top great person with that standpoint of needy mentality. Go from that standpoint of but I've done all these things. You collect president number, governor's wife number, this minister, they will not help you because you're a burden to them. I'm telling you the truth. So what are the dimensions of daring? Are you with me, guys? Are you with me? I expect you to be typing the nuggets that you get, and I also want you to take the screenshot and send to me after. Send the screenshot to me. Yeah, we're getting my point now. So types of daring, we have mental daring. So I'm gonna speak on the story of what's his name now? Of David. Think about what kind of mentality made him to go and say he's gonna face Goliath. Mental capacity, courage, and now the courage to outgrow familiar thoughts. And do you know in daring big things? Courage first. I'm gonna tell you something. You need two things to perpetually, you know, become a great person: courage and confidence. Actually, many of you want to become courageous. You want to become confident to do something, isn't it? And I was speaking to, I don't know if Blessings on the live stream or something. I think she was saying something on that this evening or this afternoon that you have to get it right first before you do it. No, you have to do it first, and then you will get it right. Many of you want to become confident to do something. You want to become confident at doing something. That's when you will not do it. But you can't become confident first without becoming courageous. Courage first. You have to be willing to take risk in life, because if you are speaking about daring big things, first of all, think about it. What does it mean? It means this thing is bigger than you, isn't it? This thing is bigger than you, but that irrespective of the obvious barrier or challenge or mountain, you still want to attempt it. And if you attempting it is not from the standpoint of confidence, because you've not done it before, you've not lifted that object before, so you cannot be confident. Because once you become confident, then you're not daring it again. Do you get the point now? It's courage first. It's courage first. It's courage first. You get my point now? So you need that courage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want you to send me more screenshots. The one on YouTube, I think maybe it's on YouTube. Send me, take the screenshot and send it to me. You can also record some videos, also, please. I need those videos. Those on Instagram Live also record the videos. Thank you. So you cannot live a big life inside a small mindset. The battlefield of greatness is not in the economy, it's in the mind. And I think Jesse Meyer, wrote a blockbuster book many years ago. And I think a lot of people in my generation, I don't know if some of you know Joyce Meyer, but she's a global, should I say, counselor. She's a pastor, she's a teacher, and she's helped, our generation and our own generation to come to that standpoint of understanding your mindsets, your soul is so, they are into the solical ministry. Your mindset is so important. And sometimes I was speaking to some people yesterday, some of the campus students that came to my place, and I was telling them that sometimes we can overemphasize the spiritual realm, that the only, even as powerful as the Holy Ghost is, if he can't really work when your mind is not transformed. If you don't give him space to work on your mind, the spirit man will be boxed. Yeah. So the if you are talking about doing big things, it's not just even about physically doing, like I said. It's not about even first even doing. Forget doing. Forget doing. And I wish blessings on this live chat, because we're speaking about some things, and it was like, you just tell me to, for example, push myself out there, and some other people tell me how. But the essence is that once you get my own point of you becoming, doing it to be, I don't need to spoon feed you on what to do, because you automatically know what to do. The Bible says something, and he himself knew what to do. Speaking of Jesus Christ, he knew what to do. That was because there was a kind of mindset in him. And the Bible said, "Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus." That was able to take initiative, that was innovative, that was creative, turning the five loaves of bread, two fishes, to feeding five. That's a lot of innovation, miraculous. But it takes that mindset to be able to even conceive it. The second one is strategic daring. And those people are writing this down. Mental daring. You have to dare it first. And I shared it on the last webinar, isn't it? That before I traveled to the UK, I had one student handbook that they gave me from the University of Hertfordshire. Yeah. And every morning I'll be reading it like a Bible, just imagining myself being campus, going to the library, going to lecture theater. Just I was imagining myself, and there's a quote like that. Let me see if I can find it. Great men have gone to their point of destination in their mind first. I can't really find it. Yes, I can't find it. So let's go to the second point. Strategic daring. See, let me tell you, and thank you guys for engaging. Don't think you're wasting your time more. Like I said, you will learn more by inspiration than by instruction. As at now, you think what is even saying is just motivating us, inspiring us. Inspiration is so powerful. The Bible says something in the book of Job, I think 32. There's a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth men of understanding. Once there's inspiration, your brain open up, your mental faculty opens up.
But when there's instruction, it's like being babysitted. It's like being micromanaged. There's no room for creativity, expression, innovation. Instruction is do as I say, do it this way. Okay, okay. For example, post content now, do it this way. But inspiration is out inside you are wells of content. Let's use content as an example. Let me check that scripture. I think it's Job 32 verse 8. Yes. But there's a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. There's the part whereby God can instruct you, but if you're talking about understanding, knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, is by inspiration. Because which coach, which person will perpetually tell you what to do at every point in time? It has to be inside of you, your mindset. What are the chances that you're still going to be listening to me in the next 5 years? I would have moved on to other things. You would have, grown to different dimensions. I've met coaches now, blunt catalyst. Every now we've not spoken. I think we speak occasionally. He's still my big coach, but we don't have that one-on-one contact like those days when I was just coming up. That was in 2017. But it's like that investment. Like I said, the shelf life of that information, it will take me for a lifetime. Am I you getting my point? This so it's like a vaccine. This is it's like I'm vaccinating you. You can vaccinate a baby and to take that baby from age 0 to 99 years and will never have the consequence of, let's say, polio. And you can fail to vaccinate a baby at that particular age, and the consequences will be forever. That's what I'm saying. You get the point now? Are you following me, ladies and gentlemen? You need strategic daring, the discipline to execute what you have seen. Faith without structure is presumption. This is the issue with many people, especially in Nigeria. I was speaking to some of the students yesterday, and we're just, of course, I think she was joking that, oh, God will do it, and all of that. And I was like, but what part are you playing? I agree that you should say, God will help me, God will do it, God will take control. But let it not be that you are surrendering the total responsibility to God. Because for any transformation, for any miraculous activity, for that's why they call it extraordinary. There's the ordinary part, that's supposedly small thing you bring in. There's the extra, which is the anointing. Yes, thank you very much. Take videos also, please. Take videos also. Yeah. So videos that God will help me, let it be that it's from that standpoint of true dependence on God, but you have played your parts. Some people, for example, just to avoid difficult conversation, if maybe you're already having a conversation and it involves critical thinking, and you need to really think out of the box and bring out something from your spirit man, from your mind, you just be like, oh, God will go help us, Joe, just to close up the conversation. And I've seen that rampant with many young people, especially Nigerians. Sometimes you need to engage in even critical conversations. Sometimes even some real-time positive arguments, like, oh, they'll say, oh, for peace to reign. But do you know what is the cost of peace? The cost of peace is war. Don't take it easy on yourself. War with yourself. Let's check the Bible again. Fight the good fight of faith. Okay, let's read it. Can you guys are you guys still here? I want you to are you guys still here? Yeah? So let's check that scripture, First Timothy 1 verse 18. And let's just say you are Timothy and I'm Paul. We are doing role play. Are you guys enjoying the session? I just want to know you are with me. Okay, thank you, Mary. From Mary's on YouTube, and Ola is on. Okay, yeah, those on Instagram, I want you to comment that you're. So I'll come to First Timothy 1 verse 18. We are doing role play now, so let's use Mary as an example. So First Timothy 1 verse 18. Mary, my daughter, that's what the Bible says. I'm giving you this command in keeping with the prophecies once made about you, so that by recalling them you may fight the battle well. Let's use KJV. This charge I commit unto thee, my son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went on before thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare. Let me put it in a chat. Let me put it on the Instagram chat. Look at that. Or can you guys put it on the chat if you see it? Anyways, if you see it. Oh, yeah, yes, I've posted it. Yes. Look at that. That thou mightest war a good warfare. You think maybe, but you begin to wonder that did God not give him prophecies? I thought if they prophesied on my life, the same way you go to a church, you'll be like, oh, Fola is going to be the next president. Be like, oh yeah. But how come they're telling you to still war? Why should I fight when they have been given victory? That's the dynamics of life. You see that? So you need strategic daring to be able to execute what you have seen. You have to work hard. It's not easy, I know, but you just have to. It's better to work hard than to suffer, because either way you still to suffer is costly. To suffer, to be poor, do you know you spend a lot so far you are alive? You must exert energy, you must spend. But do you know when you're poor you spend more? Because you buy things first of all in pieces. Let us even use household items. Do you know if you buy in bulk as a rich person, you save more than when you buy something in pieces? They'll sell it to you at retail price. They would have made profit on it. My friend was telling me some time ago, and I think I've shared this many times. She checked her Uber costs over a 4 years period in the UK. She spent, I think, £9,000. And I was like, if they told her last 4 years that you're going to be spending £9,000 in 4 years, will she use Uber? No. She'll maybe go and get a car, even for lesser amounts. A very good car. She would have had more autonomy over her time, she will not, But the difference between us, we, and Uber is that Uber thinks long term and strategic, and we think short term. Rich people buy things in bulk. Small people buy things small, but they take decisions. They don't think long term. Poor people, average people, mediocre people. I know you're not that. I want to see it manifest in your actions. And the third one is spiritual daring. The audacity to act like what God said is more real than what life shows you. Of course, committed to your convictions more than to your conditions. You have to be able to connect the dots between your daily details, your current realities. Yes, you're from Ikorodu, you're from Lagos, Nigeria. You want to travel out. Can you connect to your lifestyle, the dots between now and your distance destination? So connecting the dots between your daily details, your daily activities, and your distance destination. So I can predict where you're going to by what you do on a daily basis. If you're on TikTok, dashing people coin, doing frivolous things, I know where you're going to end. There's always that dot connected. I know that, of course, there will be that sense of fear, rejection, risk. Daring big things will always make you misunderstood. But rejection is often redirection disguised as disappointment. That's it. I always thank God for them expelling me at FUTA, because if they didn't expel me, I would have stayed there. I would have been a local champion. I would have had to endure those ASU strike and all those useless strikes and all of that, and be there, then finish school. Then the only thing I'll think of is NYIC, and maybe by now, but I'll be in Nigeria. Maybe by now, I'll not have that zeal, and I will not have conceived the vision of traveling in Ghana. So sometimes rejections, failure, disappointment. That because in the game of daring big things, like I said, it's based on courage. There's no any guarantee of that success. But if you continue trying, then you do it once, twice, three times, then that confidence comes. Then now you don't need to dare it again because it has come at your realm. As at now, traveling to any country is not a prayer point again. Meanwhile, at the point in time, maybe if you're in Nigeria, it will be a prayer point because they can reject your visa. You may never have money, this and that. So it's level by level. But you have to take that courage first before it becomes confidence, before it now becomes a lifestyle. Excellence, first of all, as a mentality, before it becomes an action, before it becomes a lifestyle. So how do you start? First of all, think that in your mind, let's even analyze excellence for tonight. Let us say from tonight, you want to live an excellent life tomorrow. Tomorrow is, you know, sleep tonight. Before you sleep tonight, meditate on how did your day go? Okay. Are there anything you need to jot down on your journal or something, or write down anything? What lessons did you learn from today? What could you have done better? What Wake up tomorrow morning. Hmm? You know you slept on your bed, but ideally, as an excellent person, you should be able to make your bed before you go out. Make your bed. Make your bed. If your room is dirty or your house is dirty, tidy it up. Go to the kitchen, is disorganized, arrange things, let things be in order. Look at my workspace here, is so clean. I speak the truth, not an ladder. And I don't lie. I'm so organized in terms of, you know, that's how it is. If you cannot, and it doesn't start from the outward, it doesn't start from doing, like I said, mindset. Always making sure that I would think, everything's in order here. Have I called this person? Okay, I have not called him. I've not got person message. Okay, just making sure that your life is in order. It's a mindset first. It now becomes an action. Now it becomes a lifestyle because you've done it consistently, confident. No, you get the point. So tomorrow, make sure decide that okay, you want to read book for even 30 minutes. Read the book first, then go and do anything you want to do. Yeah, you can even have some fun. Play football. I'm telling you how it works. Okay, this and that. Then come again. Maybe read again or listen to a YouTube video or an inspirational video. Then you pray again. You go to the internet. You don't go on TikTok and watching reels. Go on internet and do research. Okay, what kind of skills? What can I improve in this skill or in this thing and all of that? That's when you do that for 1 month, you yourself you will feel it. You're already becoming something that you were not, but it was inside of you. Are you getting my point now, guys? I hope I'm not speaking today. Okay, let's move to the next point. Daring without discipline is noise. If you will sustain greatness, you must turn revelation into a routine. That's it. Do you know, I receive most of my revelation like in the bathroom because I'm able to meditate, I'm able to reflect, and all of that. I spend, well, me, my wife sometimes complains, but like you're going to spend 2 hours in the bathroom. I said, you see bathroom as a place for, you know, for bathing and all of that. My own bathroom is for revelations, for Bible studies, for meditation. Yeah. Why am I saying that? But I've also now learned that sometimes I will have some exciting revelation, very like, you know, thought provoking revelation and ideas, and I don't write them down. I don't. I'll write it later. Then maybe after like some hours, and I say, oh, let me even. Hey, what was I thinking of? I've forgotten. And I have to be cracking my head. Okay. Sometimes I lose those revelations. Why? I didn't turn the revelation into a structure. I didn't convert it. When David was going to kill Goliath, can you type on the chat how many stones it took? Can you type on the chat how many stones it took? How many stones did David take when he was going to kill Goliath? Are we still there? Yes. Yes. So I'm asking that how many stones did David take when he was going to kill Goliath? He took 5 stones. Why did he take 5 stones? He took 5 stones because he was strategic. Do you know Goliath had 4 other brothers plus Goliath making 5? He was strategic. He knew that if one stone will kill Goliath, then the other brothers may want to attack him. He took 4. He took extra 4. Spiritual backing, very important. So we're gonna close very soon. Well, I thought it was gonna be a 1 hour session, but we're extending it to 1 hour 30 minutes. To close, I've said so many things that I think will benefit you guys. Stop waiting for conditions to be perfect to make a move, to obey. The future does not belong to those who are qualified. It belongs to those who are convinced. So I just hope you've gotten so many things about giving big things, and definitely you, because and I know not to sound cliche, I've heard that from many sort of even pastors sometimes, thought leaders, some content creators, not to sound like they're patronizing you. They will tell you something like, "Oh, I don't mean to motivate you." They're saying that to make you know that they're not trying to psych you into it. But let me tell you, nobody will achieve anything without motivation. As I'm saying that, if you're not motivated, you will know that you have the potential to achieve it. That's what I'm doing. I'm motivating you. I know people are saying they're not motivated. Yes, I'm saying me, I'm here to motivate you that you can achieve more than you ever thought you can achieve. And everything is not just from the outside, external, but there's something inside of you that is able to dare those big things, those things that you've seen. Be like, oh, it's not for me. I can't achieve this. My parent does not have money. I don't have no courage first. Start first with excellence first of all. Dare big things in your mindset first. Do do strange things first in terms of your daily activities. Then you build that confidence that makes you dare big things as an event. Then it becomes a lifestyle. If you dare what God showed you, you will enter what others only pray for. If you move, systems will shift to make space for your obedience. And I'm seeing that here at Prime Council. So many people. I was just speaking to one of my revered auntie today, and she was like, she's been seeing me. Oh my, I'm like, and I came back, I was like, what if I never even made a move to start becoming more visible, sharing value, being a thought leader, inspiring young people? What if? And next year we're positioning ourselves. We're having a masterclass in December. For example, I just had a live session on Thursday. We have one at the end of the month. I have different sessions with different people for the vision clarity call, one-to-one counseling and mentorship, different things. I have my full-time work. I'm so active in church and all of that. You know, but it's to build that capacity because the essence. If I didn't even touch on that, you cannot. You need that capacity both physically and mentally to be able to dare big things. And that's what the Bible says. If you faint in the day of battle, Psalm, I think Proverbs 24 verse 10. If you faint in the day of battle, your strength is small. And he said, go to other people, borrow not a few vessels, gather vessels, capacity. Many of you, do you know that I can bet that some of you are going to be ministers, governors, like literally directors in your industries. You don't know these things. Most times you will not know. I never knew that I'll be speaking this way in the last 15 years. No, if I knew, maybe I'll be serious. But most times, life gives you just clues, having that sense of dreams. But you must now move that dream to daring it. So you must move from being a dreamer to becoming a darer. Dare big things. Decide to be exceptional, to stand out among your co-equals. I can't fit into the box. I stand out, first of all, mentally. Now, translate to my appearance and the way we do our things, structure, and all of that. And it will be like you never even came from Ikorodu here, from Erigota, because when people see you, be like, wow. So when I share my story, people be like, wow, you've suffered, you've been, or doesn't matter because, like I said, the joy of success is more, it lasts longer than the pain of sorrow and regret. So, thank you very much, my wonderful people, ladies and gentlemen, my community. I want you guys to continue to engage. I want you guys to repost some of the screenshots you took, the videos you took, let other people connect and join, speak to, your friends, your colleagues about Prime Council because these things are free of charge. Most times, people pay for these things. I'm telling you the truth. For me, at this level, I can imagine nobody will want to give me free mentorship. Most of my mentorship, because I'm also learning too. I still have many things to learn. But I have to pay for these things, hundreds of dollars, thousands of, hundreds of dollars that I pay for trainings. And some of times, what they share is these things, but of course, in different context, in a more advanced context. But it's this fundamental, daring big things, thinking big, not being mediocre, and all of that. That's it. Nobody is going to literally spoon feed you on the journey to life. It's your own race. Even as a baby, you start your own race. So I just hope I've been able to help you guys this evening. If you've got any question, you can type it there. Maybe I can take one or two questions. Ask. And I expect you should also ask questions also. And I did a video that I think that will be helpful tomorrow for some people that are in diaspora. If they say ask question, you don't have any question. Meanwhile, there's something in your heart you can't express yourself because of the environment you found yourself. In today's world, it doesn't give chance to those that are just receptive and those that are just like dummies and they cannot even express themselves. In today's world, you have to be vocal, you have to be expressive, you have to be visible. So I expect that you come up with out of this 1 hour 30-minute session. Does that mean there's not been anything going on in your mind? It may never be a question. Share me your thoughts. I want to see it before I log off. Let me know that I've not wasted my time this evening. So I'm waiting. Okay, I'm still waiting for the questions. One of the songs I like to sing is um, "Not Settle for Less." Guys, don't settle for less. There's so much more you can achieve in life. Don't settle for less. Don't settle for less. Irrespective of your background, irrespective of your predicament, the limiting beliefs, there is that possibility. You can reinvent your mindset. You can become someone that does big things. You can dare it. Yes, give yourself that challenge. Yes, that you want to dare big things. You want to dare big things. So important. So important. So important. There's room for you at the top. There's so much room for you. Don't mind anyone on and because everyone will always give that disposition of things are working for them and all of that. And sometimes, especially as some of you that are young people trying to come up the ladder, and those at the top is like, oh, they are gatekeeping, and it's like you can't come into this zone. Don't watch anybody. And that's why I've told you guys to be expressive, to be vocal. You don't need any permission. You have to be ruthless. Like I said, nobody's gonna hand over that pass into destiny on a platter of gold. It has to be a fight. But the first fight is not just the external fight, but internal fight of limiting beliefs. So you have to dare those big things, and we're gonna um end shortly. It's been um more than 1 hour, 40 minutes of deep conversation, and I know that you've taken a lot. You've written down many notes, and thank you guys for sending those screenshots of the live session. I really believe in you, to be honest, because you know I remember when I went to Ghana, there was a man I met. He was my guardian. He's not even a Christian. Um, he was a Muslim. Then I call him Alaji. He would tell me then that Victor, like I believe in you. I believe you can make first class degree for me. And first, where I've never taken first on all of those things, so I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do to achieve those things. But he would say it, and literally, I was believing it. And I don't know if I mentioned to you guys self-fulfilling prophecy principle. Have I mentioned it to you guys before? I've mentioned it, but maybe not today. What's self-fulfilling prophecy principle? It says that I am what I think you think I am. So, and that's why you need to watch your environment. Who do you open the gates of your mind, your ears to? Not from naysayers and those that downplay you, especially if you're in a third world country like Nigeria, Africa, where there's that sense of bullying. People bully you, especially if you're ambitious and you want to dare big things and all of that. So you have to watch the gate of where you listen to. Every now and then, people advise me. I like, of course, like I always say, open yourself to sound counsel. But even the wisest of people can give you perspective from their own limitation and from their own viewpoints. And because you'll be the one to bear the consequences of your decision, so you have the autonomous right, even against your parents or even against your spiritual oversight, because you bear the consequences. God, marks you based on your destiny assignment. It's not based on anybody's allowance or disagreement. Yeah. So self-fulfilling prophecy principle is that you have to, if someone tells you consistently that, for example, you're a good person consistently, there's that tendency for you to begin to act like a good person. So that's why you need to surround yourself with people that encourage you, that motivate you. And I've said it, people downplay motivation. Oh, I'm not a motivational speaker, I don't need to motivate you, but you will not do much without motivation, internal motivation, which people call, mentioned in different contexts, inspiration, counsel, just trying to get you to do it, because everything you ever want to achieve is inside of you. So thank you very much, guys, for joining. If you've got any questions, the chat is always open. My staff will pick it up, and I'll get across to you. But stay tuned, guys. I hope to hear great results. Great result from you. Thank you.
Every dream is possible when you have the right vision, strategy, and the right guide. Your growth is not a chance, it's a choice. It's time to invest in your growth.
Prime Counsel across the media space, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, is now launching its services.
Vision Clarity Call, one-on-one counseling and mentorship, profit from scripture masterclass, and leadership training. To access our services, visit our Instagram page and click the link in our bio. Select Get Our Services and choose your desired service on the website, and register for the Strategic Positioning Masterclass, coming up on the 20th of December 2025. The slot is filling so fast. Thank you for staying with Prime Counsel.